I'm Tom. I'm a stroke survivor of 2 years now. The day of my stroke, it was just a normal day at the hospital. I was actually doing some fit testing for some new employees. At that point, I went to sign some of the paperwork, and I couldn't sign anything. My head told me what to do, but my hand wasn't doing what it was telling it to do. So it scared me, I'll be honest with you. And I wasn't positive on what was going on. So I excused myself, and I walked down from the respiratory area to the emergency room. I really didn't know that I had trouble speaking at that point. Afterwards, the ones that I talked to had said that I wasn't making sense. I did meet with the ED doctor at that time, and I told him that I thought I had something wrong. I couldn't sign my name, and he says, well, here's a pen, try it. And at that point, he found out that I couldn't sign my name, because I do the emergency preparedness there, and we do test, we do stroke alerts and stuff there. So he thought it was a test. When he decided I was having a stroke, he actually took me into an exam room, did the workup with the blood and blood pressure, and I don't know what else it was there at that time, but they were going faster than I expected them to. So then they sent me in for a CT scan. When I got back from the CT scan, they had put me in another room where they had the telemedicine all set up for hooked up with the Syracuse Hospital, the stroke center in Syracuse. And at one point, the doctor from Syracuse says, you are a candidate for TPA. And I looked at the doctor and the ED, and I says, I'm not an authority on this. What's your thoughts? He says, I have concerns. He says, I said, why? And he says, look at your right arm, because he had been poking me all the way down, and I never knew he was putting any needles in or anything into my arm, and it was bleeding a little in spots. So I says, well, you're the authority here, so I'm going with you, and we'll start the TPA. From the time that I first recognized that something was wrong until the time they started the TPA, I wouldn't say it was more than maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I went back to work a week later, and the reason the doctor said I could go that is because I had the TPA at the beginning, and that I did notice the symptoms and responded appropriately, I guess is the right word to use. So I'm around today. I really believe that you've got to act fast. If you don't act fast, then you're going to pay the consequences. Working with the Sheriff's Department, I've been to many calls that had people with strokes and heart attacks, and I knew that the signs were, but I never thought it would happen to me. I can say 20 years ago, TPA wasn't around. It is now, and that's part of the reason why Heart Walk is helping. The donations and everything are making research, and maybe there'll be a day that there is no strokes have to be. I mean, that they're not there for a reason, and they can be taken care of quicker. It's close and dear to my heart, and I just feel that if I can do it, because they helped me, and I didn't know I was going to need help, and I want to turn around and return the favor to them. My why is my great-granddaughter. That's the big why, and she, I had the stroke before she was born, but I guess the one thing when I found out I was going to have a great-granddaughter, it gave me that much more reason to keep pushing forward.